It's a beautiful day. It wasn't until the last, I would say 5 years where I was really being led to kind of tap back into this art. And it has been such a helpful therapy for me. I never knew how much I would love it and how much it would help me through some of like the trials and tribulations that I've had to go through. I was having trouble, just grounding back into my calm energy. And what I found with crochet is it helps you with that. If you're watching my shorts and you find them, cute and like light and uplifting and fun, it's because that's what it is for me. That is kind of why I just started to start the channel, is just to kind of spread a little bit of joy, I guess, and less, oh, I'm going to teach you this. Having said that, I've had a lot of people ask me about my temperature blanket. I am actually getting to the end of the year now, so I will show you where I'm at. I'm working on it. Oh my gosh, it's so big, guys. Like, look at this. It's so big. Okay, I'll give a big picture of it all, but so I just thought I will come on and talk about the crochet temperature blanket a little bit, because this has been one of my favorite projects so far. It's my first temperature blanket, and I will say it's super easy. Like, if you're trying to learn crochet, I would suggest maybe starting with something like this, because it keeps you accountable, number one, and you can keep it super simple. So that's what I've done here. My crochet blanket starts with a 250 chain across, okay? And then I'm just doing single stitches, okay? So each line is a day that has passed, okay? And it's the highest temperature, right? So you can pick whatever you want. Like, I made my son a temperature snake, and I will show you guys that as well. It turned out really well. So there's this weather data and art app, okay? Can you guys see this? And I'll leave the link. All you do is put in where you are and then the year that you want. So if I was going to do my birth year, I would do where I was born. So I would put, wherever I was born, and then my date, my birth date here. And then when you click search, it gives you all the historical weather for that time, right? So that's what I've done for my son's temperature blanket, which was his birth year. However, I suggest maybe doing it on a year that maybe you're in, because that keeps it easy. So this one is a 2025 temperature blanket. Okay, so I started it at the beginning of this year, and we're just now in October, getting to the end. I'm a little behind. I will show you. So I made a spreadsheet. Oh, I know the top here just tells me all of my colors and everything like that. Just keeping track, right? So each day I'll put in the temperature, right? And so here you guys can see I'm behind. I'm up here in September still. And then I used chocolate as the month change. So this is all October, right? So I'm still trying to catch up to October here. So I'm kind of working behind right now, because I was working on other projects, and I'm getting a little sad actually that I'm getting to the end of my temperature blanket, but excited at the same time. So I will say, like, as I go, I just kind of, my last color I just did was clay, so I'm going to mark that one off that it's done, and I'm going to move on to the next line, which is again, it's clay again. Okay, the temperature blankets are really simple because you just have to, I find like it's the best thing to start with, because there's a formula for it, right? It's like whatever the day is, that's how you pick it takes out all the guesswork, right? So your biggest part is just picking your color palette, which this is what I did for mine. And then you gotta pick like the ranges of the weather, right? So which ones you want to, and because I live in Canada and the weather changes like so rapidly and it's like all over the place, I kept the weather increments really small. There's probably about like a 5 degree, even as low as like a 3 degree temperature change between the colors, because otherwise in Canada, if you do like a big range, say -10 to like -20, it could be like that for 3 weeks. You would have like major blocks, right? But I wanted it to be more like stripy. And so if you want it to be more stripy, you want to make the ranges smaller. So going from like -15 to -18, and then -19 to -23 kind of thing. And then that makes it change often, right? So that's kind of what I did for mine. And then I added like a month change, which is going to be like, I put this darker color so it breaks up the months. And then I'm going to do the border. I'm going to do a border around mine, which is going to be this color here. Any special days, meaning like birthdays, anniversaries, stuff like that, I just did in this yellow, this bright yellow color, right? And so you'll find a couple of those through the blanket. But again, there is no, you can do whatever you want. And that's what I love about this. You could just do all blues, right? Like you could do all like whatever. It doesn't matter, you know? It's your project, you know? And there's no right or wrong. There's tons of mistakes in this sweater, right? To me, that's wrong. But to anyone looking at this sweater, they'd be like, oh, that's a beautiful sweater. It looks beautiful. There's like no mistakes, right? But again, this is all part of my journey of like letting go, right? Because even in the things that are flawed, there's still beauty. So I've made it to the end. I got to turn this big blanket around to go the other way. Okay. So then I just turn it around and keep going with my single stitch. And I've made it a single stitch because I wanted to keep it really, or a single crochet, not a stitch. See, I don't even know the proper lingo. This is why I'm not going to be your crochet teacher. There's so many crochet teachers out there, beautiful ones that I've learned so much from. So shout out to them on here. I've made like, you know, this sweater, but I don't have the tutorial to teach you about it. But I will tell you, all you need to do is learn how to make this, right? Like it's a basic skill. Then you can just run wild with it, right? You don't have to follow somebody to the T all the time. And so that's kind of the vibe, I guess. You're free. You're free with this. You're free with what you're going to find over here on my channel is who knows. I had a hard time even naming it something to do with crochet because I have a hard time niching into things. Me even calling my channel, you know, Nat Crochet. Actually, it's Nat Crochets 2, meaning Nat does a lot of things, but she also crochets. It's not who she is. I'm not this super great crochet teacher, right? Like that's not my identity. It's just a part of Natalie. And so if you are looking for somebody who is always changing and growing and evolving, then this is the channel for you, because I actually don't even know what this channel is going to turn into. Maybe you guys are going to help me with that. You know, I've just been in a space where I've tried to control things all the time, and it wasn't actually serving me any well. It just made me more stressed out, right? And so that's another thing that crochet has taught me. It's like, you know, you can just go with the flow, especially on something like this, right? This is so simple. I'm just doing a single crochet in each loop all the way across. And I'm to the point on this thing now, like I can do this with my eyes closed. I can just feel these and go across. I picked up crochet because it helped me just be more quiet and in tune with what it is that I'm supposed to be doing, and you know, listening to. While doing this, it helps me feel closer to my ancestors, I will say. I don't know. Do white people call their elders ancestors? I feel like it's only Black people who say that, but it just makes me feel closer to my elders when I do this, and tuned in to actually like what's important, I guess. I was spending so much time scrolling Facebook and like Instagram and all those, you know, soul draining apps, that I just lost myself a little bit. So that's kind of what led me to start. If I'm going to teach you guys anything on this channel, it's just going to be, you know, all the lessons that I'm learning through crochet, or, you know, or even just having this channel, right? At the age that I am, I feel like I am out in some sort of wilderness here.
What I hope to do all the time is to be so completely myself, which that's what I hope I am, to be so much myself that my audiences and even people who meet me are confronted. They're confronted with what I am, inside and out, as honest as I can be. In this way, they have to see things about themselves immediately.